Hello and welcome to Movie Film Studios, the only podcast that takes you inside the mind of two film studio executives as we unravel and then re-ravel the best that Hollywood has to offer. I'm Isaac.
And I'm AJ, and this week we bulk ordered several pallets of yarn and felt in an attempt to infiltrate the dastardly underworld of white supremacists to ensure that another one bites the dust. But before we get into something new, it's time for something old as we check in on our last feature in Box Office Report. Now, last week we released the... what did we release last week?
It was a period piece, political adventure starring Salvador Dali,
Indeed.
Set in El Salvador and featuring the rare El Salvadorian Emperor Tamarin.
Yes, simply titled Salvador.
Salvador.
Yes. How did that go? How did we go?
Really good. Great reviews, great box office takings.
Yep.
We hit a little bit of a snag here.
Uh-oh.
And we're being sued.
Oh, God. What else is new? I think we've got possibly 4 or 5 concurrent lawsuits going on at the moment.
I've found that if you ignore them, they go away. They actually just kind of pile up.
Sound legal advice here on Movie Film Studios.
We're being sued by a little film that came out not too long ago called Mordecai.
The one with Johnny Depp.
The Johnny Depp is a foppish, globe-trotting person with a curly mustache who gets embroiled in some sort of scheme.
Okay.
It does sound quite similar to ours, and they're suing us for copyright infringement for similarities. The issue is we can't mount a legal defense against it. Because to do so, we'd have to watch the film to see if it was similar, and no one can sit through it. It's impossible. It turns out Mordecai actually has several lawsuits against many other films, and they're unable to mount legal defenses because it's so unwatchable that no one can figure out if it's similar enough or not to their film.
I really think that we should take it to court anyway, because they are saying that we copied their film, but as you said, no one's watched it.
Exactly.
So how can you copy something you've never seen before? No one's seen that film. No one wanted to see that film. I don't even think the actors that were in it went to the... Was there a premiere?
I couldn't tell you. I tried to read the synopsis of Mordecai on Wikipedia.
It doesn't exist.
And I just got so bored.
It doesn't exist, though, because no one's watched it.
It's it's just like Mordecai is a film. It's like, what's it about? And it's just blank. It's just gone.
They've based it solely on the trailer. And that's it. And you know what? It's probably been written by one of Google's algorithms for their AI bots or whatever. They've just watched the trailer 5 or 6 times and then thought, yeah, this seems like it could be the plot. We'll stick it up on Wikipedia. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like we should take them to court. I mean, I know our best practice is to just ignore lawsuits until they go away, but I think we should fight this one.
I think I feel so aggrieved. Just
Your Honor, who in their right mind saw this film? Oh, case closed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the box office report for this week.
All right, on to This Week in Trailers. And first trailer for you today is Bohemian Rhapsody, the biopic of Queen, the band Queen, starring Rami Malek and directed by, a couple of directors, actually. There's a sort of very well-publicized departure of director. Bryan Singer was, I think, fired or walked away from the project about halfway through it. And it's also directed by Dexter Fletcher, who is...
From the Guy Ritchie films?
Sure.
I think we need to call the Academy. I know there's someone called Dexter Fletcher. I'm pretty sure he was in Lock, Stock and Snatch and those ones. So
no, you're right. He appeared in Guy Ritchie's Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. So yes, there you go. This has been sort of, as I said, long in production. It previously was starring Sacha Baron Cohen in the role of Freddie Mercury and would have been kind of a great casting, actually, just based on the look, but is now being played by Rami Malek, who is in, I believe, what's the
computer
hacking one? Robots? Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. I think he also plays the son in Night at the Museum.
Okay.
Who is cursed to come back alive because of the statue, and that's what causes all the antics.
Right. So a former child actor, now...
child actor. It's he's still like a 19, 20-year-old guy as the Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if you're a fan of those two genres, the computer hacking iRobots and the things that come to life, you will definitely love the Queen biopic.
This film looks good. The trailer looks really good. I was sort of ready to cast it off and toss it away, considering all the bad press that it gotten. But it looks pretty interesting. They seem to have nailed the casting. They all look pretty similar to their real life counterparts. All the music is there, so it's obviously licensed. They didn't have to go down the
costuming sets look really well done.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's sort of probably centered around, or I suppose that the overarching or the arc rather is the creation of the song Bohemian Rhapsody, but I'm assuming it also goes into the life and death of Freddie Mercury as well.
The trailer definitely says nothing is more astounding than his story, and it's quite clearly the story of Freddie Mercury rather than the rise and fall of... I'm not sure if Queen really ever fell, but like in terms of like the arc and the different music styles and fashion styles that they all seem to go through back in the 70s. I'm very interested. I've been a huge Queen fan since I was about 10. I think one of the first CDs I ever got was Queen's Greatest Hits.
Nice.
And I never really learnt too much about them as a band, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes. I'm definitely interested. So,
interesting note here from the Academy. Queen guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor are producers on this film, so it has their stamp of approval, if producer means anything in this world of Hollywood filmmaking.
Bassist wasn't really interested in going on. Who's the bassist for Queen?
Oh, jeez, you're pushing me here.
You're not on a
John Deacon.
John Deacon.
Yes. Yeah, John Deacon actually, he walked... Let's go into Queen trivia, shall we? Once Freddie Mercury passed away and the band kind of wasn't sure what to do, I believe that Brian May and Roger Taylor were keen on like continuing Queen on, and they have to this day. But John Deacon just didn't want a bar of it and absolutely said, "No, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore," because Freddie Mercury kind of was Queen.
Yeah.
So he sort of vanished into the ether. I'm not sure where he is now. He might be dead. I don't know. No, still alive. My mistake. Okay, see that film sometime later this year. October. There you go. Extra information for you. Okay, film number 2. Let's go with something a bit different in the Happytime Murders, starring Melissa McCarthy and directed by Brian Henson.
Yeah.
Now, if that name sounds moderately familiar to you, that is because it is the son of Jim Henson.
So this comes from a studio called...
Henson Alternative.
Alternative?
It's either alternative or alternate.
One of the two. And it's supposed to be the adult humor Muppets style thing. There's lots of sex and death jokes here. Yeah. And this is apparently a film that you could only do if it was targeted at an audience. It's got a bit of a murder mystery sort of vibe to it.
Yep.
There's police, a partnership between Melissa McCarthy and a puppet, and they go through a world where puppets cohabitate with humans.
Yep.
And someone's going around serial killing the puppets for whatever reason. They've got to get to the bottom of it. And adult humor ensues. The detective is a womanizer who's having sex with a puppet in his office and ejaculates silly string all over the walls.
Yeah.
Joel McHale is the head of the FBI, who's they're trying to liaise with, and
it's crass. It's incredibly crass humor. Kind of similar. I mean, I felt like they were going to go down the sort of Avenue Q route with it, but they've gone instead for something that is like stupidly juvenile and I
was kind of hoping for like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of. I almost said Roger Ramjet. Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe, where it is kind of adult. It's kind of film noir. You still have characters that you know interacting with humans in the real world for a kind of all right story. This is just not that at all.
No.
I was very excited when I'm like puppets with humans with adult murder mystery cop thing, and then the Melissa McCarthy humor I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
The really crass bad jokes in this. If like normally you watch a trailer and you're like, oh, this looks pretty funny, and you go to the cinema and they're the best jokes in the film and the rest of it is bad.
Yeah.
None of the jokes in the trailer are good.
All bad.
They're all horrible, and I was so excited for this, and it was such a letdown.
I was too. Look, I think I've mentioned before on this podcast that I am a bit of a puppeteer outside of my work as a Hollywood film producer, and every single puppet in this trailer plays a prostitute. Yeah. I noticed, and they always have the same like joke, which is like talking to Melissa McCarthy as if she has a dick, and they just want to like suck it for.
They think she's a dude. That's you can pay me and have sex with me. Like what?
It's the kind of like the most dull kind of like adult puppet humor you can do. Is just like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to have the puppets have sex with humans? Oh. No, just this is terrible.
Yeah.
If there's more in this film that the trailer isn't revealing yet for whatever reason, then yeah, maybe. But for all intents and purposes, this film will be garbage. So don't see that in August this year. Alrighty, last film for this week's episode is, I don't really know how to pronounce this, but basically it's Black Klansman with a K in the middle so that it's KKK.
Yeah, so they've used the last letter of black.
Yep.
And then they've put in a small little K and then the first letter of Klansman, so the three letters in the middle. I think you would just pronounce it Black Klansman.
Yes.
And it's just a clever little... We've done this so many times. It's like Nile 9 and Stripped and Striped,
Yep.
and where it's like the formatting on the poster doesn't actually read as anything.
Yeah.
It's the 7 of
Exactly.
movie titles.
Exactly. I had some... I really didn't have any expectations going to this
No.
trailer, but it turns out this is quite an interesting film.
It looks
it's
great.
Semi-comedic with a little bit of drama thrown in there, and directed by Spike Lee.
Yeah.
So this is not just sort of a slapdash kind of like, let's just take pot shots at the KKK kind of thing.
No.
But basically the premise of this story is that a young black rookie cop,
Yeah.
I guess, decides to team up with a sort of senior police officer.
Yeah, grizzled, embittered. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Adam Driver, so he's not that senior.
Yeah.
But he's definitely like, this is a job and it doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
And the young black rookie cop is like, don't you like hate it? Don't you hate the prejudice every single day? Don't you like itch to fight against it?
Yeah. So basically, like, these two team up to sign up for the KKK, playing the one character or the one person.
Yeah. So the rookie cop calls the KKK and plays this guy on the phone.
Yeah.
And then Adam Driver plays that
guy.
same character when he's interacting in the real
Yes.
life with the KKK. So there's
Yep.
two policemen are playing the one undercover agent and trying to sort of stir up,
Yes.
find out what's going on. It's really slick. It's really smooth.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You've got this sort of like white power versus black power.
Yep.
You have people in sort of fish out of water situations. It just, like, I don't know. It's Spike Lee directed it. It has a very Edgar Wright feel to how sort of
super fun. So yeah, this film is set in the 60s, so not at the height of the KKK's kind of prominence in American history, sort of like the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" time period. But it features the notorious Grand Wizard David Duke, who's played by Topher Grace in this particular one. So there's an actual real life context to this film. I don't know if it's based on true story or not. I don't think so, but it's not quite the let's just make fun of the KKK and so on. It actually does have a bit of a serious message to it as well, but plenty of levity, plenty of fun, plenty of great visuals and awesome music as well. So yeah, this could be a lot of fun.
It was, and you mentioned this after we watched the trailers. There was a film where we're like puppets in a murder mystery, so on board with that concept.
Yeah.
Definitely going to go see it, and the film is rubbish, and there's like black KKK. I'm like, I'm not sure about the subject material. I probably won't see it. And then it turns out to look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about actually going and watching this film.
Absolutely want to go see this film. So yeah, see that sometime, actually very soon this year. There you go. Alrighty, those are the 3 trailers for this episode. But before we do anything with them, of course, we need to take a quick walk over to the green room.
All right, so I believe you chose last week.
I did
so
indeed.
I'm up this week. First,
You
a little bit
are.
of a recap. We have a biopic of a 70s rock, any sort of period piece fashion
A very
rock band
world-famous rock band.
with lots of costumes and lots of music
Yep.
and lots of characters playing people that you've seen in the real world.
Yep.
We have a puppets inhabit the real world in an adult context.
Yep.
And we have another sort of period piece, racial tension, but sort of very slick, cool.
Yeah, with a humorous twist.
Humorous twist.
What are you thinking?
It's a really good question. I want to do the puppets.
Do you?
I really want to do the puppets.
Fans of this show will know that we used to have a collection of puppet-based characters called the Puppums, and we created a particular film based on Homer's Odyssey, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
It was a very Puppums Odyssey, but we lost that.
We lost the rights to the characters themselves.
Yes.
Now, here's my suggestion, is that none of the Muppets actually appear in this film.
No, because... So this is a Jim Henson Company film. Sorry to jump in there, but they don't hold the rights to the Muppets anymore. Disney does.
So this is the thing. We just do MFW alternate.
Or alternative.
Puppums alternative. Well, and we can just do... Like, they're very similar, sure.
Yep. Yeah,
we have a Black Panther character, not called Magellan anymore, it's called something else. And we do an adult contextualized...
Okay,
and the issue is, like, I think where they fell in a really big hole in this Happytime one is they just went for jokes. I just want like a legitimate film where puppets and people occupy the world at the same time.
Yep. So we're going for like hardcore, intense drama.
I'm not sure. It could be anything though. Like, yes, probably.
Yep.
But and then there's probably like a bit of like wisecracking kind of guy, but it's comedy that's derived from like the characters rather than the world. So.
I have an idea. So for some reason, the phrase "this year's the Hurt Locker" popped into my mind again.
Oh my god! Puppets going to war.
Yep.
Puppet Jarhead. Puppet Hurt Locker.
Yep. Puppet Black Hawk Down.
Puppet Black Hawk Down.
Puppet Saving Private Ryan.
Yes.
Can we make it... I think we need to make it historical as well. I don't really want to jump into a modern war because everything's a bit dicey, but we,
You know what? Like, Bohemian Rhapsody, the 70s.
Yep.
Black Klansman, the 70s.
Yep.
We're going to Vietnam. Like, and the thing about puppets in like going down the Mekong is they just like absorb the water, and like their internal stuffing just gets all cloggy and porridgey, and it's really nasty.
Yeah, so they have to avoid the water as part of the tactic. So all the Viet Cong have to do is splash the boats a little bit.
Don't think about half of the Viet Cong are puppets too. Like,
oh yeah, of course.
It's not just American puppets.
So it's a mixture. So it has to be like humans and puppets.
Humans and puppets
tearing each other limb from limb, felt from felt, stuffing from stuffing.
I don't know anything about modern history. In any meaningful way.
Yep.
Like legitimately, the most I know about the Vietnam War is that, like, from what I learned from Forrest Gump, and that is not a joke.
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, so maybe we don't do the actual Vietnam War because I actually do know a little bit about it. I did study modern history back in the day, and it's quite brutal in certain aspects of it,
just like most wars. But
yeah, exactly. But not enough time has passed, I don't think, to really like go to town with making it.
So
funny.
you're suggesting 1870s or
yes,
1770s?
No,
is this Napoleonic?
Yes.
See, if we start doing like the Puppums do Napoleonic wars, I've seen Kermit the Frog wearing that sort of like he did in Muppet Treasure Island. It just starts getting a little bit more. I don't know.
But it can just be. It could be just a war in general. So I'm thinking of like Tropic Thunder.
Okay,
right? So that wasn't based on any kind of...
It was Vietnam, surely.
It was, but it wasn't like the Vietnam War.
No, it was just
a war.
A war in the tropics, I suppose.
In the tropics, yeah. So maybe we make up a new war.
So all we need to do is go, what terrain are they fighting?
Yes,
is it
absolutely.
desert? Is it snow? Is it mountains?
Yep.
Is it...
Underwater?
Is it in the sky?
Underwater? Doesn't make any sense. In the sky?
I mean, dogfighting, sort of like, like turn of the century biplane sort of like elements.
Yeah, I do like the tropics though. I mean, I love the idea of the water, like not being able to get into the water because they'll soak up all the moisture. So I think we do need to keep it in the tropics. What if it's like Caribbean or something?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like there's some sort of war for the Caribbean islands.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
and that is just like we did with the Puppums do the Odyssey. Is we use it as an excuse to go to like an idyllic island to finance our own holiday.
I mean, it worked for Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean, so why can't it work for us? Okay, great.
Because Johnny Depp also did that for The Tourist. Are all of his films just an excuse for a holiday?
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Does that fit in there somehow?
I'm sure. I would like to find out if Mordecai is or not. I can't watch it. It's unwatchable.
It's not.
All right, so we're going to a nice, idyllic Caribbean island.
Caribbean island.
Which for some reason...
In the 70s.
In the 70s?
Yep.
So it's being fought over by... Who are the two sides?
This is an interesting question. So I don't really want to do natives or anything like that, because that's pretty racist, and it's been done before, actually. So maybe it's going to be... I would like to say, like, two competing empires.
Can we... And this is throwing a bit of a spanner in the works.
Yep.
I like the two competing empires, and the signs there are fine. There's definitely a war going on.
Yep.
But it's not about the war.
Okay.
It's about a murder that occurs in one of the camps.
Yeah.
And suddenly you've got, was it the enemy breaking in to kill someone?
Yep.
Was it internal fighting?
Yep.
Was it like a racial puppet versus
yep.
human kind of thing? That's the only thing that I liked about the trailer there.
Yep. So is this kind of like, I'm thinking back, so I'm bringing out the modern history here. World War One, the start of that sort of the kickstart of that was the assassination of Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
So is this what that is? So this is like...
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that historically important.
Okay.
It's just like these two people are at war.
Yep.
And an event happens during like they're camped on opposite sides.
Yep.
And it's sort of like a military police detective has to step in and find out what happens to bring... Like, I think there's something similar overarching thing in The Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
There's The General's Daughter is a film with John Travolta,
Yep.
which has this sort of like the outsider comes in and he's investigating.
Yep.
I think in the Jack Reacher films, Jack Reacher's character is that.
So what if it's like a war over a particular resource, like maybe a particular rare exotic animal?
I was actually thinking, what if like they're mining stuffing for puppets?
Perfect.
The material that they use to make polyester, the most lush velour stuffing, or it's something that like the richest puppets are made from. It's a material that has to be harvested.
Yep, it's the unobtainium, whatever that. We'll come up with some stupid name for it.
Valorium.
As well. Valorium. No, we can't call it that. So, yeah, okay, I like that. Maybe someone has tainted it as well. So it's like the last remaining store of it. These two competing empires have, like, whittled it down to this tiny Caribbean island because it's the last, like, storehouse of this material.
Yeah.
Someone's tainted it. So someone has spoilt the batch, and then they have to send in... I reckon they need to send in, like, two military police detectives, one from each side. And so it's a bit of like an odd couple kind of thing as well,
right, yeah.
where they have to work together despite the fact that they're on opposing sides of the war.
Yeah, it's a buddy film.
Buddy film, yeah.
Butch Cassidy and the Cum Dance Sid. I spinnerized that horribly. Yeah, so I actually quite like that. And it's human versus puppet, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But
the sides aren't split into humans versus puppet. It's not. Still a mix, but
our two main characters and
the
one's
envoys
human.
that they send, one is a human and one is the puppet. And they are forced to work together. So the governments of these two empires have said, no, there's a truce. Ceasefire on both sides.
Yeah.
We need to figure out who did this because, like, this was the whole thing we were fighting for.
Do a mystery.
That's
and
it.
it's only been 2 weeks since Girl Stop, Spy Stop, Cold Stop, where we did a whodunit murder mystery. I love it. Love it so much. If you've ever read or seen the film The Name of the Rose, I kind of like that idea where this outsider comes in to try and solve the mystery. There's some corporate espionage. I think we introduce elements of it's not warring nations, it's warring corporations.
Yep.
We throw in some of that
why not?
bullshit that people seem to be, the corporate power is the 1% to take over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I love this. And so I think, then we can sort of weave in this whole conspiracy thread with a, like, third corporation that no one knew about. Maybe it's like a corporation that on the books has nothing to do with, like, puppet stuffing, but, like, underneath... hidden in the sort of books underneath the building somewhere, they're actually dealing in like illicit trade of this substance.
Yeah, they're like trying to short the...
That's right,
the stock prices. I really like...
To try and buy out both of those companies.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I like this world that we've created. We now still have to sort of start coming up with the characters for this. Obviously, we've got our two main characters from opposing corporations who are coming in to investigate the mystery. One's a puppet, one's a human.
Yep. So I think what we need to have is... I want to have a female puppet.
Absolutely.
The reason being is that I just don't think that we've had really good female puppets.
They tend to be caricatures.
Very caricatured,
of like groupies or...
prostitutes
drama queens.
in the Happytime
I'm thinking more... If you look at the Muppets, like Miss Piggy is it like she's got a very defined characteristic? Like Kermit's the everyman. He's like sort of fits in there.
Yep.
But Miss Piggy has to be like the drama queen.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Mad Tooth Gold. Whatever.
The Dr. Teeth.
Yeah, and there's just a groupie kind of character in there, and she doesn't have a personality.
Yeah, there's
where is? I mean, obviously we did it so tastefully with the original Puppums.
Yes.
How do we do it here?
Well, I don't know, because we don't need to necessarily stick with animal-based puppets either, so we could go for more humanoid-esque
I think that's probably the way. And then they did that a little bit with the Happytime film, is they're sort of human-esque, but obviously with the blue skin and the colourful nose, you're kind of Grovers or...
Yep. All right, great. So her name is Samantha.
Yeah.
Samantha Strelinsky.
Yeah.
She is physically very tall.
Okay.
Like supremely tall. Like,
is that taller than a person, or is it just tall for a puppet? Because like traditionally, puppets are like half human height because you have to have people on their knees with one hand's up controlling. Like, so is she like?
I don't know. I don't know why. I just kind of want to have her puppet to be like 8 feet tall, so all the humans have to be on stilts. So it's like a role reversal. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It's so impractical.
I know. But like, if there's anything that we've done a lot and it's impractical special effects,
there's no need for it to be a puppet if it's bigger than a human. It could just be then it's just got a costume. There's
if it's like 8 feet tall.
It's a massive difference between a puppet and a costume.
All right. Let's go back to all right, I'll go back on my idea then. We'll make it like a normal size puppet. So half human height.
Yep.
And she is what type of character shall she play?
I think she's very just driven like career driven.
Yep.
She works hard. She's recognized for the work she puts in. This is a tough assignment, and they've given it to the best and most competent person who works in this corporation to actually get to the bottom of.
Yep. So we go against type.
Maybe secretly the corporation's setting her up to fail.
Yeah.
But she's too on the ball to.
So she's kind of like Simon Pegg's character in Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Very
absolutely
on the ball,
by
focused.
The book, focused. Athletically gifted.
Yep.
She follows everything through to perfection.
Absolutely.
And
trained in like Krav Maga.
Yep.
Is a
firearms.
Yep. Absolutely.
Flying World War II style biplanes. I mean, I'm whatever.
We're absolutely going to have that. Yeah.
I really want World War II or World War I style biplane dogfight.
Because it's set in the Caribbean and this is the 70s, so it's just leftover stuff from World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
That just landed there. I don't know.
Given up biplanes by World War II.
Yeah, but like, okay, they're leftovers from World War I.
Exactly. Yeah, there's some tiger moths. I think that's a biplane.
Yep.
Flying around.
Maybe like the end, or sort of like the final scenes of the final act of the film is like that shady third corporation sort of rears its head, and the one piece of technology they've developed is like an EMP, like the very world's first EMP, knocks out like all the technology there. So now the hard-boiled kind of Samantha Strelinsky and her human partner have to use like World War I era biplanes to infiltrate the secret headquarters of this corporation, which is based in the Caribbean. Like the whole thing was just structured to be there.
I have a second character, and I also have an actor for it.
All right,
we've got taking inspiration from Black Klansman, where you have the young up and coming go getter, and then you have to have the grizzled, embittered. I've seen this a million times before, and it's George Clooney.
Yes.
And he's just like, we haven't actually had him in our films in
ever
or in a long while.
No, we've had him in there. Every time we do an Ocean's 11 style film, he's in there.
It's true. Like, he was probably in Cretaceon as well.
Yeah, he was.
Anyway, I take back that we've never cast him before.
We've cast him many times.
And he's so... see if we can get him to put on a bit of weight as well. That'd be interesting. He hasn't done that for a role. He's sort of maintained his physique all the way through his career. And he's probably smoking, and he's just like also a very, very good investigator. But he's seen the way the corporate world works, and he knows that even if he solves this, no one's going to know that he did it. It's probably, having solved it, going to be worse for the world than if he'd just sort of let it be. So like you've got that sort of dynamic between the two of them.
I also like the idea that maybe he's just a little bit racist as well. Like he just doesn't like the fact that he's teamed up with a
Is it puppetist?
Puppetus, yeah. He doesn't like the fact he's teamed up with a puppet partner. In the same way that, like, Bright, that was the whole, like,
yeah, exactly.
orc with a human partner. That
was very on the nose about being about racism. This is not about racism
no,
at
it's
all.
not.
It just sort of happens to be.
He just doesn't like puppets.
Yeah.
He had a bad experience with them once. Okay, great. So let's think. Now, I think what we also need like a shadowy CEO of the third corporation.
Yeah.
Who's sort of like the machination of everything. So the one that's sort of pulling all the strings, so to speak.
You are just so full of puns today.
And I think that character needs to be a human puppet hybrid.
Oh,
yeah,
like someone who's like lost their arm in the war and had it replaced with,
I think,
like a synthetic stuffing.
No,
arm.
I think multiple limbs.
Multiple limbs. Yeah.
I think it needs to be. He or she needs to have been like bifurcated at some point.
Yeah,
and it's sort of like 40% puppet and 60% human. Exactly. We can rebuild.
We can rebuild, and we have the technology.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I really, and it's like that is the big reveal at the end. Like you assume that they're fully human all the way through.
Yeah,
but which way have they gone?
Yeah,
is it a puppet who has hybridized human parts on there, or is it a human who's hybrid?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, what was your origin? Were you human once, or were you puppet once,
or were you even two separate hybrid human puppets who then formed one full hybrid human?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is great. All right, who should play this hybrid character?
I want it to be Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Because, like, sort of, like, somewhat reprising... Like, because when you find out it is Christopher Lloyd, you're like, oh, is he going to be secretly a cartoon character the whole time?
Dr. Doom from... Sorry for the spoils there. But
I actually kind of wanted to introduce cartoon characters into this world as well.
Really?
So you have puppets, you have humans, and then there's the third
cartoon
organisation with these cartoon characters.
Yeah, because Who Framed Roger Rabbit was sort of like this big landmark deal between Disney and Warner Brothers to have, like... It will never happen. Well, it will happen again when Disney buys Warner Brothers. But for the time, and I think that was like 1989, it was like a huge thing to have the Warner Brothers characters interacting directly with Disney characters. So maybe this is like the next step. It's not only... We're somehow going to have to get the rights to Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and all that, and Bugs Bunny, and they'll interact with our puppets as well.
I reckon we just make up our own characters. Do you know how much like legalese there was in there for like the to the second screen time of each of those characters had to be worked out by lawyers over and it was literally like they were sitting there counting the frames.
And lines of dialogue as well.
Who got the first lines? Who was last seen? I think in the end someone is the last seen character, but they don't get any extra lines, and it's insane.
This is such a huge production now. I mean, do we just make knockoff versions of those characters, or are we making 100% original creations?
Because if we're doing we're saying that the puppets are human-style puppets. Are the cartoon characters then also human-style cartoon characters? Okay. I mean, it's the cartoon characters always tend to be a little bit more anthropomorphic animal sort of people. There's I don't know if you've ever seen Last Action Hero.
I haven't, but I do want to see it.
It is a really, really good film, and like in the movie universe... They have, and it's supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger franchise, and they're up to sort of like, loaded canon for, I can't actually remember what the series is called. There is an animated police detective who works in the department with them, which is like really, really great. And I really want to sort of bring that in. Where it's just like, puppets exist, animated characters exist in this world as well.
We haven't done like that. We haven't seen a good like cartoon crossover film for a while. Like,
since Space Jam,
I mean, like Warner Brothers did a few like Looney Tunes ones after. Like, do you remember that one with Brendan Fraser? By any chance?
Monkey Bone?
No, it was... No. But yeah, we haven't seen a good and I want to do 2D animated. I'm sick of seeing like 3D animated characters because like that's logical. That could make sense in the real world. 2D characters do not make sense.
Just CG graphics in film. Yeah, absolutely.
So proper like hand-drawn, cell-animated like cartoon characters interacting in this. Maybe they're the third corporation.
Exactly. There's a triumvirate. Like we're going to have to introduce a third corporation. Like we did. There's a third secret corporate thing here, but I think now there's 3 people. There's 3 detectives and 3 rival companies on the Caribbean island.
So there's 4 companies in total.
There's 3 known and 1 secret one.
That's right. Okay, great. And the secret, now the secret one's going to have to be a hybrid of all 3.
I think so. I think the secret one it is the Disney style thing, where they've actually just bought up all the other companies. Like, why are we rivals against one another if we have the one big parent? And again, that's a commentary.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I think like, if you break it down, there's just 5 companies. It's Coca-Cola, Amtel who owns like almost everything, and then Disney owns almost everything else. And like and like you're like, oh yeah, we work in rival companies. No, you're just owned by the same people. Yeah. All the money's funneling into one spot.
Exactly.
And that's the big sort of overtone here. So if we've got George Clooney playing the grizzled human, and Samantha Straczynski playing the up and coming go get 'em corporate.
Or the detective.
Who's the animated animal character? Is he the wild card? Is this the cartoon wild card's probably a bit predictable, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of like a wisecracking dog.
A wisecracking dog.
Voiced by Will Arnett.
We can't have Will Arnett. He plays the voice of too many dogs. We had I'm not sure if we had the conversation on air, but he's the voice of Lego Batman, obviously.
Yes.
And then he's also the voice of the bad guy in the Justice League. Teen Titans. The Teen Titan movies. I'm like, you can't do the hero and the bad guy in the same DC universe. Yeah. Having said that, Josh Brolin is Cable in Deadpool 2 and Thanos in the Avengers. Chris Evans is Captain America and the Human Torch. Peter Dinklage plays like the Prime Minister or the President in Days of Future Past, and also a giant space blacksmith in the Avengers as well. Like it's getting to a point where we're running out of actors who can play multiple people in multiple different universes. Maybe the dog's just voiced by George Clooney. Maybe it's that much of a crossover that we
absolutely. And it's not like the dog, like in the story, the canon of the story. It's not like the dog was cloned from George Clooney. No, it's a completely separate, completely unrelated character, but it is voiced by George Clooney.
and he is a wisecracking dog type.
Yes, absolutely a wisecracking dog type, yeah.
So, he's sort of somewhat reprising his Fantastic Mr. Fox type character.
Yeah, but he's too calm in that film. I want him to be zany.
He is a bit of a wild card, isn't he?
He is.
It is a bit of a predictable thing for an animated thing, but that's where you get a lot of the characterization and movement of him being he doesn't necessarily have has the Tasmanian Devil can spin, but he's definitely bouncing all over the place a little bit.
He gives the moments of levity that this film would need, because those two characters, one is serious by the books, the other one's sort of like seen it all, is a bit sick of everything, so you don't have anyone that's going to drop.
But you can imagine, that wild card character is the one who drives them both the wrong way.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't play by the rules and he's got too much energy. It's perfect.
I love it. So there's our cast. George Clooney playing 2 characters, a as yet unnamed puppeteer for Samantha Straczynski, and Christopher Lloyd. I don't even know if Christopher Lloyd's acting anymore. He's quite old.
I was about to say, I don't know if he's still alive. He's still
alive, but he's very old, and I'm not sure he can actually act, but that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
We'll cast him anyway.
Does that mean that he also has to be part cartoon
in
his
absolutely.
hybrid form?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's the thing. We need to make sure that it's just not clear what he started off as. Did he start off as human? Who knows? Did he start off as a cartoon character? Did he start off as a puppet? It's just completely... I don't know how we're possibly going to make this film. I don't know how we could possibly make that character. Because you're dealing with, like, a physical human who's obviously 3-dimensional, a puppet who is also 3-dimensional, but then also cell-drawn animation, which is 2-dimensional. Where does the, like, transition point happen? How does that work?
No idea.
Okay.
That's for the production department to figure out. We're just the ideas people.
All right. I love this. All right, so we just need the last thing, which is the name of this film.
The name of the film.
So we're dealing with mystery, we're dealing with warfare, we're dealing with a triumvirate. No,
it is.
Well, there's 4 companies.
Yeah,
so.
it's a triumvirate of detectives and a quadrumvirate of corporations, which is also just a monumvirate.
Sure.
Unumvirate?
Sure.
Whatever. Yeah, I
Dealing
don't
with
know.
a Caribbean setting as well.
Caribbean setting, island paradise.
Idyllic. We're dealing with a substance that's used to create puppets as well. So a rare substance, which you called valorium.
Well, I mean, I think the substance also has to be like if you create like a polymer sheet and you draw something on it, then it also potentially brings life to those things as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, so it's universally somewhat magical substance.
Yep.
So what's the name of the film that we're basing it off? It's the
Happytime Murders.
The Happytime Murders is a little bit sort of convoluted. The Puppums do the Odyssey. Are we having a
let's
a very Puppums Odyssey? Sorry, I apologize.
I don't think so, because we're doing like animation as well. It really puts too much emphasis on the puppets. But I think we need to look at our original inspiration, which is the war films, the Saving Private Ryans, the Black Hawk Downs,
there's
the Jarheads.
Three sort of The Hurt Locker, Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan.
So the 3-word kind of title.
Yeah, it's got to be a 3-barreled. And again, that sort of like relates back to the 3 people, the 3 main characters in the film. And
so I already thought like island hopping something.
Oh, island hopping mad.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's not bad.
But it kind of needs a rabbit then.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, George Clooney can voice a rabbit type island hopping mad. It puts a bit too much focus on if it's a rabbit, that character, and I don't really think that's necessary.
We need island hopping, but then the last word needs to be more battle-y. Like more war, more...
I was just going for hopping mad and island hopping and merging those 2 phrases in together.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like hopping, to be honest. I like islands, definitely island.
Yep.
Island time. Being on island time, have you heard that? The bad case of the Mondays. Case.
Jim Davis will sue us.
Case. I want the case in there. Like, can we have case?
The case, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, island... again, we did girl stop, cold stop when we just said 3 words that sort of had something to do with the film. Is that... Because it's island, it's mystery.
Yep.
And what's the third?
Battle.
Is it battle, or is it like a coming together of like...
Clash.
Or, I mean, unity. Like, is it more of a bond?
Okay, yeah.
Island bonding?
Well, I like the idea as well. Like, our main villain is like a combination of all 3 types of figures or types of characters.
Yeah, so...
Maybe it's like felt, skin, and ink.
Oh, I like that. All right, so we're going to do a thing we haven't done in a long while.
Okay.
We did it for Steel Chalk.
Yep.
I really like the word island. The word island has to be in there.
Yep.
And it has to be a 3-barreled name.
Yep.
So we need to say, like, I say a word that is something.
Yep.
You say a word that has another thing with the film, and then we just whack island in the middle or on the end of or at the beginning.
Yep.
So I reckon we go with one thing that is battle or an espionage kind of word.
Yep.
And we go with another word that is... I don't know. What's the other one you reckon?
I think it needs to be mystery.
Yeah, some sort of mysterious case sort of thing.
Yep.
And then the last one's island.
Yep.
Or which one do you want to do?
I'll do battle.
Okay, and I'll do mystery.
Yep. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Justice.
Blood Justice Island.
Yeah, so don't like calling it like Justice Island because it like sounds like it was originally called Justice Island.
True.
So like Island Justice
Blood. Island Bloody Justice.
I like Bloody Justice.
Bloody
Justice has got like a really good sort of it's very dark and very grim.
Very grim.
Island Bloody Justice.
Island Bloody Justice, absolutely. And I like the idea that the blood, we can have posters and trailers of the blood. The blood's different for all those characters as well. So for humans, it's red blood. For puppets, it's felt.
Stuffing.
For cartoon characters, it's ink and paint.
Yeah, that's not actually quite like cartoon characters bleeding black pigment. Ink blood.
And the thing, like imagine the posters, right? Like on the beach at the sand, these 3 different types of blood like mingling with each other as it's been spilt from various corpses. Yeah. Great, gritty, realistic, and intense.
1/3 cartoon characters, 1/3 puppets.
Indeed, 1/3 humans. All right, I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. Island Bloody Justice.
Island Bloody Justice. See it soon. All right, housekeeping as per usual. We are online at moviefilmstudios.net, where you can find all of our previous episodes, some bios of us, and of course Mfwizawudada, which is a lovely old database of every single film that we've released on this podcast. Search Facebook for Movie Film Studios and join the group that we have there and the community, where Isaac posts enigmatic emoji clues as to the trailers that we have watched in the upcoming episode. As well as that, we've added translation clues as well.
Yeah, Google Translate. Let's see what happens when I try and put Bohemian Rhapsody into Swahili. Who knows? Last week I had a lot of fun because it was The Predator.
Yes.
And pretty much like every language I put The Predator in,
Yeah.
just Predatoro. I'm like, oh, that's really easy. I put it into, I think, Norwegian and back again, and it came back as Hunter. And I'm like, that's what I want.
Great.
I want it where you can put it in and it's not actually going to give you the same word back out
something
again.
ambiguous when it returns.
Yeah.
We are also on iTunes and Podbean and any other place that you get podcasts. Give us a rating on there as well. It really does help us, no matter what you rate us. But we would prefer fives.
Five's good. Six if you can manage
6
it.
is even better, yeah. We also prefer 5s if it's out of 10 stars. It's really...
It's a bit weird, yeah. I think Metacritic's out of 100, and
we still want 5.
We want the 5s.
Right. And I think that is it.
All that remains is to thank you all again for listening this week. I've been Isaac.
And I've been AJ.
Roll credits.